Tonight on 7 News, leaving Dubai as the airport is bombed, escaping Australians make it home. The war moves into an explosive new phase.
Australia could answer the call. Will our government send military help to the Middle East?
A deadly daylight stabbing in Concord. One man led away in handcuffs.
2 Sydney fishermen washed out to sea and a safety measure that could have saved their lives.
Sydney's Hollywood hopes the plan for a brand new film studio.
Aussie Oscar Piastri crashes out of the Australian Grand Prix before the race even begins.
And the Bunnies' big names already clicking, but an NRL record breaker is forced to wait.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Angela Cox and Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. Australians have watched in horror as a drone attack hit Dubai airport tonight, telling 7 News of their ordeal.
The fighting in the Middle East is worsening on several fronts, with a major oil depot destroyed. The Iranian president is now apologising to neighbours, while the US president remains on the warpath.
He's coming to the airport.
With Australians among the thousands at Dubai International, Iran strikes. Right near the main terminal. War witnessed by shocked passengers inside the building and stuck waiting on planes. Later, safely back in Australia, first-hand accounts of the ordeal.
It was definitely a drone. It looked like a drone and it just exploded. It was around 300 metres away from where we were.
Everyone was telling us to relax and stay calm, which we were, then we got evacuated.
Seemingly an even worse experience for waiting relatives.
Terrifying. I nearly fainted.
The war intensifying, the attacks on Iran exploding through the night. Here, it looks like driving into the mouth of hell. What locals say is Iran's Sohank oil depot. Now, it's only fueling fear. This, a direct hit on Tehran's airport. Across the city, fireball after fireball. The capital's skyline ablaze.
We're not looking to settle. They'd like to settle. We're not looking to settle.
The US president responding after Iran's president apologised for attacking neighbouring countries. Religious leaders furious, as purported Iranian soldiers claim commanders are dead or have fled like rats. Despite Iran's promise of a regional ceasefire, more attacks on Dubai, an apartment building hit by a missile fragment, and another fragment hitting a car, killing the driver. Iran has also been attacking more targets in neighbouring Iraq. In Israel, Iron Dome continues working around the clock as the war of words ramps up. Israel's Prime Minister with a message to the Iranian people. The moment of truth is approaching. And here in Lebanon, after Israel's hunt for Hezbollah targets, the brutal aftermath of body bags. There are 5 martyrs here, he says, but the number could increase. And indications are it's not about to get better for Lebanon. We're in the border region of northern Israel. Tanks, mobile artillery, howitzers being trucked into position, parked and waiting for the next phase of this assault. All through the region, there is more and more evidence of this. Israel's heavy armour. In Iran, it's all about the air power. Here, it's ground forces. Lebanon is a second front for Israel, their chance to decimate old enemy Hezbollah, while they simultaneously pursue its partner, Iran, and their relentless campaign grinds on.
Live to Chris Reason in Tel Aviv. Chris, Iran says it's ready to fight for months.
And good evening to you. Yeah, the Revolutionary Guard has issued a rare public statement making a bold claim, unverifiable, that they believe they can continue to fire these ballistic missiles at the same rate for another 6 months, adding that they haven't even started using their advanced long-range weaponry yet. But their capital, Tehran, is under siege. I want to show you these new pictures tonight of burning oil now leaking into the city's drainage system. There we've got literally rivers of fire. This is an environmental war now. It will be difficult to breathe in Tehran tonight as the US and Israel try to suffocate this Iranian regime. Mark?
They are extraordinary scenes. Chris Reason, thank you. Australia is now considering sending military help to Middle Eastern nations facing missile and drone attacks from Iran.
Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong made the surprise admission this morning, saying the government is working through options now.
Flames ripped through a Kuwait City high-rise minutes after a drone smashed into the building. One strike among many as Iran unleashes its fury on all 6 Gulf states.
You would anticipate as a consequence that we have been asked for assistance, and we will work through that carefully.
The Foreign Affairs Minister confirming a request for Australia to help block Iranian missiles and drones.
We are not participating in offensive action against Iran.
One defence analyst telling 7 News the ADF could send a small number of troops with a short-range surface-to-air missile system, or deploy a wedge-tail early warning aircraft to help plug a new gap in missile defence.
Because the Iranians took out 2 ground-based radars that were operated by the United States that were critical in missile defence operations.
The simple fact the minister revealed the Gulf's request suggests our government is seriously considering options. As well, Penny Wong waved off President Trump's recent demand that he be involved in the selection of Iran's next leader.
The future for Iran is ultimately in the hands of the Iranian people.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
In a stunning attack on a supposed ally, Donald Trump has blasted the UK's Prime Minister for not sending military help soon enough. Let's go live now to Europe correspondent Ben Downey. Ben, Trump claims he doesn't need the UK's help anymore.
It's quite extraordinary, Mark. Yes, when the US president heard that Britain was preparing to send one of its aircraft carriers to the region a week into the war, he suggested that the UK was no longer one of America's great allies, launching this broadside on Truth Social, writing, "That's okay, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer, but we will remember. We don't need people that join wars after we've already won," following up in the Oval Office.
Give me the offer to send 2 aircraft carriers. Maybe, but they're not sure. We don't need them. It's not the right time. It would have been nice to have had them 2 weeks ago.
The crew of the HMS Prince of Wales, the flagship of the Royal Navy, has been ordered to prepare to set sail within 5 days. And despite publicly knocking back the ship's help, Donald Trump appears all too happy for his B-1 bombers to continue using British RAF bases, however low relations between Westminster and Washington might be.
Ben Downey in London, thank you. The bodies of 6 US soldiers killed in a drone strike in the Middle East have been returned home, their coffins saluted by Donald Trump. Today, thousands of Trump fans rallied, screaming their support for the war and regime change in Iran.
At an Air Force base in Delaware, the price of conflict. The bodies of the first US casualties of this war. 6 soldiers killed in Kuwait by an Iranian drone, brought home.
Glad we paid our respects. It's tough.
The president says he expects to be back there, saluting more American war dead before long, but he's not ready to stop the fighting.
This is a minor excursion, but when this ends, we're going to have a much safer world.
So we're pressing the offensive every single day, creating all the leverage the president needs for the outcome he wants.
The same outcome these people want. Thousands marching through the streets of Washington, hopeful Iran will soon be free.
Well, debate rages here in the United States at a political level about the legality of the strikes ordered by Donald Trump. For the Iranian population living here in America, many of them are grateful that he finally took action.
This brutal mafia-style regime is about to go.
Thank you, Mr. President, from the heart of Iran.
And now, finally, we got help.
But not all agree with the way that help is being delivered.
The war is completely illegal.
A different protest with a different message.
This is not how you bring freedom. This is how you terrorize a community.
181 young girls were killed, and I don't like that.
Asked if America was responsible for that strike on a primary school.
That was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions.
In Washington, D.C., Rob Scott, 7 News.
One man has been killed and another taken away in handcuffs after an argument inside a house at Concord turned very violent. The suspected killer flashed a smile for the cameras just moments after police say he stabbed a man to death.
A wry smile, moments removed from an allegedly heinous act. A 41-year-old man in cuffs, another man in his late 30s dead in the Concord house he just walked out of.
You hear about like 10 sirens come out at once, so me and my cousin have ran out. He was smiling, so it was a bit strange, we were a bit confused.
Around midday today, an argument broke out inside the Spring Street home. A knife from the house was used in the attack. The victim struck in the chest. The victim believed to be a longtime friend of the couple that lived inside the home, one of whom was the alleged killer.
At this stage, we don't know what the argument was about today.
They just kept to themselves.
His 47-year-old partner taken to Burwood Police Station for questioning. He's assisting and is not accused of wrongdoing.
Oh, it's terrible. This is a nice, quiet neighbourhood, yeah.
Charges are planned to be laid tonight for that 41-year-old in police custody, and at this stage, it's not expected to fall under any domestic or family violence charges.
However, if more information comes to light that changes that, then we will work through that.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
A man has been killed when a car and truck collided on the M1 north of Sydney. The crash happened shortly after 8:30 this morning at Mount Colah. The driver of the car couldn't be saved. He's yet to be formally identified. The truck driver escaped injury. Traffic was backed up for at least 6 kilometres as crews cleared away the wreckage. 2 rock fishermen have drowned off the Central Coast. Authorities believe they were in the water for hours before they were discovered at Little Beach. The men weren't wearing life jackets, prompting a new safety plea.
On a picture-perfect stretch of the Central Coast, a grim sign on Little Beach marks just how dangerous the water can be. Police and marine rescue called here yesterday afternoon when surfers found a man's body floating face down.
By the time we got there, the men that had found the male had dragged him out of the water. He may have been rock fishing with another male.
Rescuers found abandoned fishing gear on rocks, then
at about 7:45 p.m, second male was located with face down in the water, about approximately 200 metres from the beach.
Both were dead, neither was wearing a life jacket. The 46 and 67-year-old men, fishing buddies from Beecroft.
Really upsetting, but something that could have been saved if they'd been wearing life jackets.
Deaths like these have seen rock fishing labelled the most dangerous sport in Australia. The location's unforgiving. Nationally, 31 people died in coastal drownings off rocks last year. That's 41% higher than the 10-year average.
So to try to turn the tide, lifesavers have been handing out thousands of free life jackets and running workshops for rock fishers in recent years with the hope their safety message will get through.
Wear a life jacket at all times, irrespective of what you think the conditions are. If you're going rock fishing, you have to have the right equipment.
Andrew Denny, 7 News.
Firefighters had to contend with intense flames, heavy smoke and fallen power lines when this house caught fire at Guildford around 1:30 this morning. They also helped those in neighbouring homes, including a disabled resident, evacuate in time.
When they arrived here, it was through the roof, so it was quite a large fire when they arrived. It was too dangerous for our crews to enter.
The property was purchased only a few weeks ago for just over $1 million. It was a busy night for crews. Just 10 minutes later and 10 minutes down the road, a unit also went up in flames.
Hearts have been broken at Melbourne's Albert Park with local hero Oscar Piastri crashing out in dramatic fashion.
The home Grand Prix curse struck again, and this time Piastri didn't even make it to the start line.
Heartbreak for hometown hero Oscar Piastri.
Oh no.
His redemption arc over before it began, catching everyone off guard.
Oh, Crofty, what's happened to Oscar Piastri?
This is what Albert Park did not want to see. The 24-year-old crashing out in the first moments of the formation lap.
For the home hero, and a man aiming to become the first Australian to finish on the podium in his home World Championship Grand Prix. This is the start they really didn't want it.
A combination of a couple of things, I think there's a large element of just me. Yeah, it's obviously just disappointing and a scenario that shouldn't be happening.
As he retreated from the track, fans were left shell-shocked.
I don't even know how that happened. It's just crazy.
That was really bad. It's the Australian curse, I guess.
By the time the race ended, it was Mercedes' George Russell on the podium.
And George Russell wins the Australian Grand Prix.
Very nice, very nice.
Alongside young teammate Kimi Antonelli and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc.
We're off and running in 2026.
Albert Park became an ocean of orange for Oscar.
Oscar's going to win it.
He can, of course, do it. It's Oscar Piastri.
If Oscar wins, I'll do a shoey.
His boss singing a different tune, conceding defeat before the race even began.
You know, I mean, the Mercedes are in a league of their own.
Popularity in Formula One is growing every year. There are now more than 800 million fans around the world, and that love for the sport is certainly on display here at Albert Park, with huge demand to see these drivers. As for whether Melbourne will step in if the Middle East can't host its 2 F1 races in April,
I'd have a Grand Prix every second weekend somewhere if I could manage it.
Jordan Quinn, 7 News.
The Matildas will take on South Korea in front of a sellout crowd at Accor Stadium tonight.
The Tillies have already booked a spot in the Women's Asian Cup quarterfinals, but they're still chasing a win tonight. Live to Taylor Aiken at Sydney Olympic Park. Taylor, a bit grey there, but energy is high.
Mark, and plenty of green and gold filling in for Accor Stadium, with fans not letting the weather get in the way of them cheering on the Matildas as they set to face South Korea in the final game of the pool stage. The Tillies are currently sitting second in our pool and do need a win to secure the top spot, despite their recent 4-0 win over Iran on Thursday. A draw will see South Korea top the pool. The Matildas will be without their superstar winger Hayley Rasso, though, ruled out with a concussion after being hit in the head with the ball in the last game. But they will have that home ground advantage. Gates open in just 15 minutes with kick-off at 8 o'clock.
Should be a good night. Thank you, Taylor. Time to check the weather now with Amber Laidler. Amber, how are conditions looking for those at the game?
And Mark, good evening. Unfortunately, we are in for a little bit of a wet night, with showers currently pushing in along the coast. Those falls arrived last night and developed through this afternoon. 10 to 20 mils recorded across the city basin since 9 a.m, 25 mils so far at Nora Head on the central coast, with gusty conditions also picking up this afternoon. Strong gale force southerlies recorded this afternoon off Watermulla. Near gale southerlies elsewhere. There is a strong wind warning in place along the coast tonight. Now, those showers will persist into tomorrow, looking like a bit of a wet start to the new working week, but another burst of sunshine and heat isn't far away. I'll have your full forecast for the week ahead coming up soon.
See you then, Amber. Thank you. Stuck in Lebanon as the war spreads. Next, a Sydney mother and son reunited, a narrow escape from the danger zone.
Donald Trump eyes a new target. Now he says he's going to take care of Cuba.
A learner driver's tough lesson wiping out in Northmead.
Harry and Meghan bound for Sydney within weeks.
And after sport, homes for rent in Marrickville's $1 billion makeover. Welcome back. A learner driver and his passenger have escaped unscathed after their ute rolled in Western Sydney. It happened shortly after 11 p.m, the driver losing control and crashing on the edge of a road at Northmead. By the time paramedics arrived, both he and his passenger had climbed out of the wreck.
Strong winds brought down a large tree branch, damaging a car at Drummoyne overnight. Fire crews were called out around 12:30 to find the branch hanging precariously and tugging on power lines. Electrical workers shut off the supply as crews cleared the scene.
More Australians are battling to come home tonight, joining a mass exodus from Lebanon as Israeli airstrikes shatter the country's south.
For many, the journey is fraught, expensive and dangerous. One Sydney couple is counting their blessings, home safe, but knowing there are thousands more like them still in harm's way.
Free from a war zone, safely in each other's arms, Harla Morched and her 18-year-old son, Abraham. The pair back in Sydney this morning after fleeing Lebanon when their 3-week holiday turned to an evacuation.
They started the bombing on the Saturday, so that was the day before we meant to leave.
They bombed, and then we got told that our flights were cancelled.
Each rebooked flight also scrapped as tensions escalated.
So every time we booked, it got cancelled because they started bombing Doha, Dubai and other Middle Eastern airports.
It was also emotional trying to you're not knowing when the next bomb will drop or not knowing where it will drop at the same time.
An anxious Shady Morched taking matters into his own hands and finding a way home for his wife and son. From Beirut to London, on to Singapore, then home. Their first stop?
I had to get church. Thank God for arriving safely.
There are currently around 15,000 Australians in Lebanon, DFAT encouraging people to register on its crisis portal for urgent assistance, including flights home, while it's anxiously watching what happens next.
We don't want to see a major ground offensive, a ground war in Lebanon.
Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
A little over a week into his military operation in Iran, Donald Trump is now saying he plans to, quote, take care of Cuba. The US president made the comments in a speech to Latin American leaders in Florida.
We're also looking forward to the great change that will soon be coming to Cuba. Cuba's at the end of the line. They're very much at the end of the line.
Tensions between Cuba and the US are high, with many Cuban Americans hoping for a regime change in the communist country.
Prince Harry and wife Meghan are reportedly planning a trip down under within weeks. It's understood they could visit Sydney and Melbourne in the middle of next month, more than 7 years after their first Aussie tour. This trip is said to be centred around their businesses and philanthropic work. It's not known whether their children Archie and Lilibet will join them.
More of your top local stories still to come this hour. Hollywood here in Sydney, blockbusters bound for Blacktown.
A killer's love letters from behind bars, the red flags that could have prevented a murder.
A rock-bottom review for the state opposition leader as One Nation gains ground.
240 kilometres an hour tornadoes flatten towns.
Our Australian of the Year with a special message on International Women's Day.
A young Sydney crooner and his swooning fans on the bright side.
And ahead in sport, The Apprentice becomes the master. Raiders' young gun breaks Manly's hides.
Tyrone Thompson is one of our state's most violent domestic killers, and tonight a former girlfriend is speaking out for the first time.
On Seven's podcast Kiss and Kill, she reveals she tried to raise the alarm before he stabbed his new partner 78 times.
Baby-faced killer narcissist Tyrone Thompson.
He had physically abused her for months and breached an AVO 8 times.
He's now serving 15 and a half years for stabbing 21-year-old Mackenzie Anderson 78 times in a frenzied attack lasting less than 3 minutes.
I am satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that the offender had an intention to kill the deceased.
Now, Thompson's former partner and the mother of his child is speaking publicly for the first time. She's asked not to be identified.
Yeah, he's like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, he's got this really nice nature side to him, but then there's this other side.
They met about 5 years ago. At first, he love-bombed her. After they moved in together, the abuse began.
Starting to pick on me about my appearance, the way I did things.
She tried to end the relationship and he attacked her car with a hammer.
I was just terrified to break it off.
When his attention turned to Mackenzie Anderson, the young woman messaged her asking about his behaviour.
She sent me a photo of 2 black eyes.
Police were called, but while on parole, Thompson broke into Mackenzie's Newcastle home and killed her.
I did everything in my power to stop it from happening.
Tyrone Thompson will be eligible for parole in March 2038, by which stage his daughter will be 18. It's unclear whether he'll return here to the New South Wales Central Coast when he's released. From jail, Thompson has continued contacting his former partner, sending letters and making threats.
I'd probably have to move because, it's very scary thought.
To listen, visit 7news.com.au/kiss and kill. Download on the Listener app or wherever you get your podcasts. Katrina Blowers, 7 News.
One Nation is gaining ground in New South Wales, according to new polling. If an election was held today, Labor would secure 34% of the primary vote in the lower house. The Liberals and Nationals at 23%, with One Nation surging to 21%. Premier Chris Minns is the preferred premier with 48% support, compared to opposition leader Kelly Sloan's 24%.
Sydney has long been the backdrop for some of Hollywood's biggest hits, but a lack of studio space is threatening to send film production interstate. Now, the state government is backing calls for a second major film studio, bringing blockbuster shoots to Blacktown.
They're the Hollywood blockbusters showing off the best of the harbour city.
You fall down, you get right back up.
And soon it's set to be lights, camera, action on a second major film studio in Sydney.
We're looking for Hollywood to come here. We're looking for Bollywood to come here. We're looking for great local production.
The state government opening expressions of interest, committing $100 million for developers to build a world-class studio with at least 6 sound stages.
Talent comes back, directors come back, producers come back, studios come back, because the crews are like the best in the world.
Relaxing a previously proposed 35-kilometre limit from the CBD to qualify for the funding, even offering up government-owned sites in Bungarraby, Eastern Creek or Prospect for consideration.
You're just not going to find, 100 football fields of space in central Sydney. You might find it in Western Sydney.
Filmmakers say the need for a second studio is now urgent. Disney Studios at Moore Park is often blocked out for its own in-house productions, threatening Sydney's status as Australia's screen capital.
Queensland surpassing New South Wales for production spend for the first time last year, falling from more than $1 billion in 2022.
We're determined, though, to maintain New South Wales as the leading film state.
Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
A 12-year-old boy is among at least 8 people killed when tornadoes barreled through America's Midwest. The storms packing winds of more than 240 kilometres an hour down trees and power lines and flattened homes across 2 states. The town of Union City in Michigan was left unrecognisable, with homes along the riverfront torn to shreds. Crews trying to reach victims under the rubble.
A security scare has forced a plane to be diverted in the US. Panic rippled through the cabin on this flight from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale when a man started yelling and no one could understand him. Flight attendants told passengers to keep their heads down.
Oh my God, the moon. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The pilot landed safely in Atlanta. The police boarded the plane to arrest the man, but he wasn't charged.
Is your medical information being sent overseas? Next, a scan shock, exclusive details why personal details are being shipped offshore.
Sydney childcare centres sold off after nearly 500 breaches.
And in sport, the homecoming from hell for Josh Hannay as the Sharks demolish the Titans.
Welcome back. A dozen Sydney childcare centres have been sold following a string of serious compliance breaches. 12 Jenny's Kindergarten Early Learning Centres are now under new management, following nearly 500 breaches of care. The centres were accused of not meeting safety or cleanliness standards, with claims babies were even sleeping on the floor at the Lone Cove North Branch. Questions are now being raised about who's actually reading patient medical scans in our hospitals.
As radiology departments face staff shortages and rising demand, some hospitals are sending scans overseas. Patient advocates say we need new privacy safeguards.
When a CT scan is done late at night, the images don't always stay in Australia. Because of workforce shortages and after-hours demand, 7 News has been told some hospitals are sending scans overseas for reports, often to the UK, where radiologists are working during the day.
Our preferred option for all radiology reporting is to have locally trained and locally sourced radiologists reporting for that. That is the gold standard.
But that's not always possible.
There is a global workforce shortage of radiologists.
Across the country, health departments confirm outsourcing diagnostics is common practice. Queensland says it doesn't allow offshore reporting but will send to other states. Others say private providers supplement public capacity, including Western Australia. Adelaide uses a company that has doctors in the UK, Ireland and South Africa. New South Wales too, and claim recruiting local doctors is a challenge.
Ranska's expectation is that all the outsourced or reports are reported by radiologists who are registered with APRA and are reporting to Australian healthcare and safety and quality standards.
Patient advocates say safety must come first.
If a scan is misreported, then absolutely that can have diabolical outcomes for a patient, and we absolutely should not have a system that allows that to happen, and ensuring that the patient's safety and protection of the patient's privacy is utmost.
There are now calls for more government-funded training to address the critical staff shortage.
If it means that we need to invest in building the workforce, then that's what needs to happen.
Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
The building blocks of a rental wonderland still to come: knock down, rebuild, a Marrickville makeover and a new era in affordable homes.
And how the Australian of the Year is helping young girls dream of space. Don't miss those stories soon on 7 News. But now Jelisa's back with sport. And Jelisa, the Rabbitohs' big names are back.
Yeah, and Fergo, their stars really delivered in a clinic over the Dolphins. There was deja vu, though, with another key injury. We'll have those details next. Plus, another lengthy stint on the sidelines for Waratah's $1 million man, Joseph Sualihi, and a fairy tale farewell for Elisa Healy in her final match for Australia. With their big names finally all on the park, the Rabbitohs showed what they could be capable of this year, beating the Dolphins in a high-scoring game at Suncorp Stadium. But the victory was slightly soured, with another star joining the injury list.
612 days, the last time Latrell, Walker, Whiten and Murray all played together. South say their injury curse is over. If true, look out.
Graham for the corner, South Sydney score first.
Suncorp Stadium practically underwater. Perfect conditions for Dolphins. Jake Averillo intercepted Walker.
Averillo will go the length.
Latrell back in the centres, maybe this time for good.
Mitchell reaches out.
Campbell Graham took advantage of a Tom Gilbert fumble for his second, and the floodgates quickly opened for Souths. 3 tries in the last 10 minutes of the half. David Fafita instantly making himself at home, helping Alex Johnson to with one of Ken Irvine's all-time record.
Chalk another one up, 211 and counting.
Souths 28-10 at the break, the Dolphins not ready to give in. Herbie Farnworth gathered and scored off Selwyn Cobbo's kick before a flying hammer struck.
Stepping straight through the line, bursting in to score.
But any hopes of a comeback were put to grass by Jermaine Azarko. Latrell's second, the final nail.
And that might do it for the Bunnies.
Enough time for Gilbert and Fafita to get in a squabble and bend. No kiss and make up though. Rabbitohs 40-30 winners. The only concern, an ankle injury to young halfback Ashton Ward. James Manton, 7 News.
In only his 5th NRL game, Ethan Sanders has already left the Raiders fans asking Jamal who. That's after his Golden Point winner against Manly last night. The Sharks demolished the Titans in Josh Henne's Shire return. 22-year-old Sanders spoiled his predecessor Seagul's debut.
From protege to leading act, enter the Sandman.
He's got it! The kid has won the game!
A bit surreal. Not too sure what happened just there. I'm still a bit in shock. They had a few games last year where it went down to the wire, and just seeing his composure and learned a lot from Jamal. So yeah, I'd like to thank him too.
His game tonight was very, very mature, well beyond the amount of games he's played.
5 to be exact, with plenty more to come from the former Eels junior.
He goes himself and scores!
For Manly, 2026 started with another tale of what could have been. 14-0 up inside 18 minutes. Canberra scored 28 straight points to lead by 14 with 10 to play. The Seagulls fought back, with who else taking it to Golden Point.
I was really impressed with Jamal. It was a really positive start for him, albeit he'd be he's very disappointed because we lost to his old team. I'm not sure whether we probably could fight back into a contest when the game got away from us last year.
Whether new rule changes will make huge momentum swings the norm.
I don't know. Happens to us a lot. That's answer to a question for me.
2 tries, 4 try assists and a fresh card for Braden Trindle and the Sharks' 50-10 opener demolition of the Titans.
You're right. Yeah, Tricky was pretty good.
A not-so-happy homecoming in ex-Cronulla assistant Josh Henne's return to the Shire.
I'm not discouraged at all after one performance. Win or lose tonight wasn't going to define us this year.
It's not, you can't just walk in and get it done straight away.
The injury-ravaged Giants' fresh faces got their season off to a perfect start last night. Debutant Phoenix Gothard sealed their 27-point win over Hawthorn, revenge for last year's finals defeat. Big-name recruit Clayton Oliver led the undermanned midfield in his club debut.
They're just that hungry, and I think that's why I come here. I know what the boys have got, the list and the talent they've got.
They'll start to gel together even more the more they play together, and Clayton's impact will just continue to increase.
The Lions' premiership defence is off to a losing start, going down to the Bulldogs by 5 points in an opening round classic. The Waratahs' worst fears have been realised, with Joseph Akuso-Sualihi set to miss up to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. The Wallabies centre injured himself in the warm-up in their loss against the Hurricanes. Oscar Piastri says he'll use last year's Australian Grand Prix disappointment to overcome today's heartbreak. The Aussie failed to make the start line as Mercedes' George Russell kicked off the season in style.
Absolute disaster half an hour before the race.
Oscar Piastri on the lap to the grid has lost it and sustained significant damage to his car.
A heartbroken Oscar Piastri limping to the pits, not even making it to the starting grid in his home Grand Prix.
We had a bit of an issue out of the pits with no battery. There's a large element of just me. Yeah, it's obviously just disappointing and a scenario that shouldn't be happening.
George Russell was swamped from pole position as Ferrari's Charles Leclerc took the lead by the first turn.
Charles Leclerc leads the Grand Prix from George Russell.
But the field was dropping like flies, the new configurations causing chaos. 5 drivers out of the race inside the first 20 laps. Russell and Leclerc went back and forth fighting for the lead before Mercedes came out on top.
He's not looked like letting it go, and George Russell wins the Australian Grand Prix and starts 2026 in absolute flying fashion.
Made a bad start and then obviously some really tight battles with Charles, so I was really glad to cross the finish line.
A Mercedes 1-2 with Kimi Antonelli second, Leclerc third, Lando Norris fifth. Earlier in the supercars, it was a nightmare for Brock Feeney at the first corner.
Big time trouble. Oh, huge clean-up. He's gone, more damage.
Brodie Kostecki was out in front, avoiding the carnage to win his 3rd race of the week in Melbourne. Tim Hipsley, 7 News.
After 16 years playing for Australia, Elisa Healy got the perfect send-off in her final match before retiring. After bowling India out for 149 on day 3 in the one-off test in Perth, the Aussies needed just 25 to win the match and multi-format series. The skipper didn't get to bat as Georgia Vole and Phoebe Litchfield easily chased down the target to win by 10 wickets. Healy emotional, saying farewell to the game she loves.
So I guess honestly, it hit me just before that, I don't get to come back into that change room again and, be around the girls, but I'm going to enjoy the next little bit and sing the team song one last time.
Australia won the series 8 points to 4. Now, there are days out, and then there's what Kiwi bowler Brett Randall pulled off this morning, playing in New Zealand's top-tier domestic competition. The Central Districts paceman took an incredible 5 wickets in 5 balls against Northern Districts. The 30-year-old becomes the first player to achieve the feat in first-class cricket anywhere in the world. Sydney FC couldn't make ground on top of the A-League's top 2, drawing 2-2 with Melbourne victory in the Big Blue last night. The 3rd place Sky Blues fought from 2 goals down at Allianz Stadium to sit 7 points off leaders Newcastle. The Jets are unbeaten in 2026, beating the Wanderers 2-1. And Ange and Fergo in particular, just to recap, Manly beaten by Canberra.
My team versus your team, I know.
Okay.
Thanks, Jelisa.
Work is underway to transform a Marrickville timber yard into a $1.5 billion residential hub.
All the homes will be rentals, and it's shaping up to be the largest precinct of its kind in New South Wales.
A piece-by-piece demolition, transforming a timber yard off Victoria Road in Marrickville into a neighbourhood.
This build-to-rent development will be the largest in the state.
650 studios, more than 300 one- and two-bedders, a small number of bigger apartments, an affordable component too, with 1,100 units for renters altogether.
They will be able to get access to furniture packages, but white goods are included in their rent.
In addition to 7 buildings, a public domain around this warehouse.
We're salvaging the central warehouse in its entirety. That will actually be deconstructed and taken off-site and then treated, repainted and then re-erected at the end of the build.
More than 700 bike spots, but just half that space for cars.
It is close to the metro, it's close to the city, and it's well positioned to cater to young professionals and families in Marrickville.
By the end of 2028, half of the precinct will be welcoming tenants, with the full project to be complete by the end of 2029. But while keys are still a few years away, expressions of interest open from as early as next year.
Renters can stay here for as long as they want. They have security to live here, which is a big change to the way that the rental market currently works.
Angelique Opie, 7 News.
People around the world are celebrating the wonderful women in their lives for International Women's Day. Australia's first female astronaut and this year's Australian of the Year, Catherine Bennell-Pegg, joined Weekend Sunrise today, hoping to inspire a new generation of women.
I'm so inspired by the women that have been to space before. Women have been in space for 63 years. I've had young girls come up to me and say for the first time they realise that being an astronaut isn't just for boys.
The day was marked overseas too. Thousands of women marching in Peru's capital to advocate for stronger women's rights. Charlie's Angels on tonight's Bright Side. Next, we're with the Sydney crooner and his superfans.
And when these showers are set to clear, coming up in your detailed 7-day outlook next. Hello again. We've got some showers pushing in along parts of the coast with falls expected to persist overnight into tomorrow. Strong wind warnings in place along the coast too. In the city right now, it's hovering around 21 degrees and a fresh southeasterly. 25 was the top earlier, while across the suburbs today, daytime temperatures hover between 23 to 25 degrees. A cooler 16 was the top under the clouds today out at Katoomba. Let's pick up the satellite picture now. And onshore winds have been pushing showers along the coast this weekend, but a trough and front have also been moving across the Tasman with an upper level disturbance and gusty southerly change pushing up the state's coast today. Now, this should maintain settled conditions into tomorrow before clearing midweek. Then the next front arrives and brings another round of showers into the weekend. But taking a look around the capitals tomorrow, rain on the way for Brisbane, tops of 23 degrees, a cloudy 25 forecast in Canberra, partly cloudy skies expected in both Melbourne and Hobart, a sunny 27 on the way for Adelaide, 30 the top under mostly sunny skies over in Perth with rain and a possible storm up in Darwin. Statewide, isolated showers are cried across the state's east, tending scattered across the central coast and adjacent ranges, but looking more widespread further north. Dry and sunny elsewhere, though. Temperatures tending above average in the west, a little below average across parts of the state's east. So we have got some showers forecast to start the working week across Sydney and the central coast. At this stage, that's looking most likely during the morning and early afternoon, with the chance of a storm then too. Tops tomorrow reaching 24 to 26 degrees across most suburbs, a little bit cooler tomorrow in the outer west. On coastal waters, winds should ease below those warning thresholds overnight. Southeasterlies are set to run at up to 20 knots before decreasing to around 10 knots in the evening. That's on a southerly swell of around 2 metres. But back in the city tomorrow, 26 is the forecast top under cloudy skies with those showers expected during the day. Conditions should clear through Tuesday, just a slight chance of a shower during the day then, but mostly sunny skies should return midweek. Temperatures climbing come Thursday too, 30 to 33 degrees expected then. Then the next round of showers arrives from Friday through into the weekends, but at this stage, Thursday looking like the pick of a week. A little bit wet tomorrow, Mark and Ange, but thankfully sunshine not far away.
Back to work Monday, not too bad.
Yep.
Thanks. Now here's Amy Clements with The Bright Side.
Charlie Chech is 21 and has a voice that makes hearts flutter.
Fly me to the moon.
meet his superfans, fully committed with matching T-shirts to prove it.
Well, Charlie, you have the girls going crazy.
I do, yeah. When you're singing Sinatra, Elvis and Dean Martin, you're going to attract a certain crowd, and I have no qualms with that whatsoever.
So you travel around and follow Charlie?
Oh, yes. I don't mind how far I travel.
I just think this is marvellous, absolutely fabulous. He is definitely going to be a very big star.
You can't be anything but honoured, but also humbled as well, because they do it because they believe in me, and they do it because they enjoy the music, and they're just the best.
And luckily, these groupies had room for one more Charlie's Angel.
So don't forget who's taking you home. I'm very grateful for the support, and honestly, there's no greater joy than singing the music of the old standards and taking my audiences back to very fond memories. For me.
He can sing, that's very cute.
Amy's on the bandwagon. That is 7 News for this Sunday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all of the 7 News team, thanks so much for your company. Have a great night.
Good night.